Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were ever bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Xrad Round Up, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium network, live from an undisclosed location. I'm Xander Gibb, and on today's show we will be checking out the hottest of topics, and we will be also talking to the one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Thomas S. Schmitz. Now, you can interact with us during the show. You can make your comments in the live feed below, and I will ensure to include them if they're nice and they're not too egregious, shall we say. You can also tweet me. You can tweet me at Xander Gibb, and we will involve you in the conversation and share your comments. Now, you don't have to agree. That's the beauty of living in a democracy, but we do hope that you'll be nice. Oh yes, sorry, we will get to the live feed in a minute and say hello to everybody who is in there. I'm obviously just buying time right now while I do the publicity because we still as yet don't have a new producer or an intern. We've been looking for one, so if you are interesting and interested in becoming involved with the show, then please send me a direct message and we will endeavor to facilitate that with you. Oh yes, we will. Don't forget to click that share button so other people can be involved, watch what's going on, and join in the conversation. Okay, I was just seeing what the message is that was being shared. I'm just going to refresh my page and then we can begin. Hello out there, everybody. It looks like the way the feed is presented has changed. Hello to Corey, whose show was on just before mine, I believe. Hello to Stephen. Hello to Martha. Hey to Nikita. Hello to Stella. Hello to Martha. And hello to Raymond and anybody else who's watching but not joining. Come and be in the live feed and tell us exactly what you think. And don't forget to share that link. Oh yes, siree. Because sharing and caring is what we really do best around here. Oh yes, it is. So let's get started. Yes, siree. I'm always having technical problems on this show. The teleprompter does things that I don't want it to do. I was going to say it's female, but then I will get accused of being sexist. It's obviously male, ladies. So there's a delicious irony for me today that I really want to share with you, because for the last 2+ years, Donald Trump has been lied about, judged, misreported, misquoted. His family's been attacked and maligned by celebrities, and the list goes on. And it's come to light, not that we didn't know it, but there was a Russian collusion. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is proof of this collusion. Are you jumping ship? I see some of you asking out there. And no, I'm not jumping ship at all. Now, the collusion did happen, but the collusion was with the Russians, the DNC, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. And the fraud perpetrated on the American people is just a continuum of the dishonesty the Clintons have exacted on us over the years. But I fear there will be no prosecutions and no repercussions for Teflon Tessie out there. Now, evidence, it seems to me, and absolutely nothing to America when it comes to this modern day Bonnie and Clyde. Now, let's face it, the last round of churches would really have nailed her if Comey hadn't let her off the hook. With the fact that Mueller is contraindicated in the whole shebang, how could he ever fairly investigate anybody, let alone the President of the United States? Now, the government was always meant to be for the people, by the people, not some elitist group of con men and women that are somehow not accountable for their criminal acts. But be assured that I don't see politics when criminal activity occurs, and would want for those on either side of the aisle to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law for any illegal practices. And if Hillary doesn't go to jail for these latest revelations, we may as well just pack up and go home, as what is the point? We cannot have this two-tiered judiciary, and that ideology is really un-American. While we still have politicians and celebrities flaunting the law and laughing in the face of the American people, we have not evolved enough, and we need to take stock. Now, in the past couple of years, I've lost friends and family and been abused and criticized for supporting Trump. I've been called by association a racist, a sexist, a homophobe. I mean, how could I be homophobic? To name but a few. Now, it's also, it has, however, been worth it. But the stupid Americans, not saying all Americans are stupid, just the ones that believe the lies, will see they have been lied to and perpetrated a lie about our president. Now, even last night on Twitter, I had a huge fight with a woman who was telling me that Trump wasn't a Christian and wasn't saved. Now, where do people get off having the sheer audacity to question people's relationship with God? Surely that's between them and God. Wake up, America, for we are encountering truly trying times. It's poignant that the files pertaining to JFK will be released soon. I wonder how history will remember such an era of dishonesty, and how those of us who are true patriots that stood by the president will be perceived in the future. God bless Donald Trump, and God bless America. Oh yes, sirree. So I'm gonna come back to the live feed. Let's have a look. Let's go backwards. Let's see. Everyone's saying hi. Hi to Dan. Hi to Anne. Corey's saying amen. Not sure what he's saying amen to. Ray says, I really wish Congress would do their job and prosecute these crimes and remove these corrupt politicians. Me too. And for me, Ray, the concern is not about where their political affiliations are. It's actually more about the fact that if they've broken the law, then they need to be brought to justice. Corey says it's called respecting the Constitution. Absolutely. Scylla says they're also redacted. They show nothing. I would tend to agree, Stella, but you know, the problem is for me, I might be a little bit pessimistic, but with the level of evidence that once again has come out this week about the illegal actions of certain people, including Hillary Clinton and the DNC, I don't believe that she will end up being prosecuted because, like I said, she's Teflon Tessie. She gets away with everything. And the concern for me is more to do with the fact that what does this do to America? You know, I often hear about this societal fabric being torn at, and in fairness, the societal fabric in this situation is not just torn at, but it's ripped up and stamped on and peed on too. Because every time this family, the Clinton crime syndicate, gets away with something, what does that actually say about America? It says we have a two-tier justice system. We have you and I, the ordinary regular people, and those who are above that. Because for me, if you've committed a crime, regardless of your political affiliations, how famous you are, how many followers on Facebook and Twitter you have, whether you're whether you're verified on Twitter, whoever you are, you deserve to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And the concern is that that has not been happening with certain people in these United States. You know, all of this that's come out recently with regards to the money trail, you would have really thought that Hillary Clinton would have kept her mouth shut, that she wouldn't have kept going at Donald Trump, and she wouldn't have been doing the things that she's doing. I just have to respond to this very quickly. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at the live feed. Ray says, Leonard joined us. Hi, Leonard, welcome. Ray says, exactly, political affiliation shouldn't matter. A crime is a crime. Stella says, I don't either, Xander. I meant, where are we? The screen moved. I meant the papers on Kennedy assassination are so redacted. Yeah, we only get to see what they want us to see. Anne says, they eventually will be held accountable. Between the boomerang effect, karma, and making America great again, it will take place. From your tweet, or from your post to God's ears, and Ray says we shouldn't need a special counsel. I'm sure there are many laws on the books affording to a special counsel, I beg your pardon, independent counsel when there is a conflict of interest. We need Sessions to apply to simply do his job. I totally agree. And the thing is, for me, in all fairness, why is Mueller involved in this at all? Because let's face it, he's contraindicated in all of this because this happened on his watch with regards to the FBI. So yes, I want people to be called to task for the things that they've done, whether they happen to be Democrats or Republicans. And, you know, here's the thing. I'm going to say something very controversial now, but I really don't care. If Donald Trump colluded with Russia, then he needs to be called to task. But I don't personally think that he did. You know, everything he's brought to light, you know, the wiretapping, the collusion with Russia, the selling of uranium, etc., etc. He's been so right about all of these things, and fair enough, he's rather clumsily put those things across, but I don't care about that. The things that he actually has put across have been factual, and I am looking forward to the fact that apologies need to be forthcoming from all of these people who have slighted him and called him all of these names. Now, to me, name calling is kind of second nature in politics. You know, every day on Twitter I get called something different, but that's okay too. But here's the thing for me. What about that guy's family? What about Donald Trump's family, who hear all of these lies every single day about him, about the things that he's supposed to have done? You know, it's even come out that the stuff was made up about the Russian hookers. I mean, please, you know, get a grip. Why would you want hamburger when you've got prime beef at home? And I think, you know, the First Lady, if you got the First Lady in your bed and you're a heterosexual man, if you've got Melania Trump in your bed, why would you want hamburger? That's all I'm saying. Blah, blah, blah. Stella says Sessions didn't do his job. She also says Mueller should have recused himself. Absolutely. And Ray says no, he's not. Whoever he is. Hi to Joel and hi to Ty. We are gonna bring our guest on any second now, who is Thomas S. Schmitz. He's actually one of my co-hosts on the Xrad show, which will be coming back very soon. Every day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. And he's also a writer and contributor with Conservatives for Palin. And I'm just going to give him a call now, and we're going to see if we can get him live. Here we go. It's ringing. It says ringing, 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 ringing. It still says ringing. and it's connected.
It says ringing, ringing,
Hey.
ringing, ringing.
Hi, Thomas.
Still says ringing.
Hey,
One of us has got the sound up.
It's connected.
Let me just check it's not me.
who are you
Hi,
calling?
Thomas. Still says ringing.
It's me. Welcome back. Sorry, I had the sound up. I'm
Sound up. What's connected?
still doing it. 1 second.
Not me.
Yeah,
This is-
I hear it.
All right, 1 second.
It's
You
me.
are calling home.
Welcome back. Sorry, I had the sound up. What's still doing it? 1 second. This is.
All right, this is like the Twilight Zone. I just have to refresh the page. And are you still there, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. I just had to refresh the page because all hell was breaking loose, and I couldn't get it to
The Twilight Zone.
go away. There we go. It's gone. Welcome back to the show. The Democrats are obviously sending their Russian bots to interfere with what we're trying to do. So welcome back to the show, Thomas. How is the world with you?
Oh, it's great. How are you guys?
I am doing good. I really missed doing the show, and I thought until the Xrad show came back proper, I would just do this kind of weekly roundup in order to just keep my hand in there and to keep the listeners happy. So let's jump in right away with. Oh, we're live. We're back. It
Oh, we
looks
are?
it looks like we're back. We're back in. So if you're just joining us again, I'm sorry about that. It seems that the fascists at Facebook decided that our content was a problem for some reason. So I believe we were talking about the revelations with regards to the fact that. With regards to the fact that it's come out that the Hillary Clinton and the DNC have basically been shown to be doing all of the things that they said that Trump had been doing.
Oh, yeah. I think Rush Limbaugh always used to say this. He always used to say, if you want to know what the Democrats are up to, just pay attention to what they're accusing you of. And I found that to be true more often than not.
Right.
And, here's the thing, though. There's so much money at stake here. I think what it's going to boil down to at the end of the day is how far is President Obama willing to go to protect Hillary Clinton and vice versa. And I think it's like a stalemate in a poker game where they're both trying to decide who's going to blink first.
Right.
And who's going to metaphorically stab the other one in the back with a knife. I think that's what's going on because, the thing with the dossier, it can be taught, it goes back, if you follow the money and do the timeline, to this law firm called Perkins Coie that Eric Holder used to work at. And ironically, I say that with so much irony, Perkins Coie is the same lawsuit that did all the frivolous lawsuits against Governor Sarah Palin.
Right.
When she had all those lawsuits for, oh, she's accepting bribes, and the bribes would be like a plate of cookies or a hockey stick that someone gave her. Yet, according to the way the Alaskan Constitution was written at that time, anyone could file a lawsuit, and the governor themselves had to pay for the legal team. And they can all be traced back to Perkins Coie, and that's the same lawsuit or same law company that we're dealing with now. And there's just so much corruption, and the swamp is just so thick and deep, and there's so many people who have done so many bad things that they're all kind of just wondering, who's going to protect whom. It's kind of going to be like a waiting game now to see who's got the most stamina.
Right. But wouldn't you have thought, one of the things that I've been saying for a long time is that why would Hillary Clinton have continued to bait Donald Trump, given the fact that he could have, he could sink her at any second, basically.
Why? Well, because using her 30-year-old playbook, she's invincible with all these, resources, nefarious and otherwise, the Clintons have had access to. The Democrat Party as a whole has nothing left except bureaucracy.
Right.
Until about 2 weeks ago, they had bureaucracy and Hollywood on their side. But now Hollywood's fallen apart. So all they have left is bureaucracy. And the Clintons know very well how to weaponize bureaucracy. And that's why she felt comfortable going after President Trump in a... it's not even misleading. Misleading is an understatement. That would be like saying Bruce Jenner had a makeover, So,
right.
It's just so nefarious. And the more we find out, we'll just find out even more. It's that whole analogy like the onion, when they say you peel back one skin, you find another. It's just like that. That's exactly what's going on.
So
finally, the people have said no, enough is enough. I'm glad that this is happening.
Yeah, and I think
10 years.
I think the fact that he said something. I want to ask you one final question, and I want you to give me a succinct yes or no answer. Do you think Hillary Clinton is going to jail this time?
I can only say yes or no.
You can elaborate.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes.
Right.
I believe that I believe that the truth always comes out, and I believe in good versus evil, that good always wins at the end of the day. So yeah, I'll say yes.
Okay, well, I hope...
we have to believe that, because if we don't believe it, it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
And it won't happen, so we have to believe it.
In that case, then, I believe. I really do believe. So I want to move on a little. After Weinstein's fall, Bill Clinton's accusers must wonder why not him. Now, with these recent revelations of the actions of Weinstein and others using their positions to rape and sexually molest individuals, an interesting point struck me. This whole revelation must be harrowing and painful for all victims of this oath. But what about the victims of Bill Clinton and others who have up until now gone unpunished?
That'll be interesting to see, and I think it's the same thing. This status quo, this establishment, like when we say establishment, our minds just think of the Congress and, the permanent political class, but the establishment extends into academia and entertainment and to the newsrooms and the faculty lounges. The establishment is vast, and they protect each other. And I think the same thing, it's going to see how far they're willing to put their neck out on the line to protect each other. And eventually someone's going to say, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
It ain't worth my career. It ain't worth me getting in trouble. Screw you. You did it,
I think that they built...
Look at what happened. They're backpedaling with Ben Affleck
They
to
are.
save this movie. I mean, People Magazine is actually putting out puff pieces saying Ben Affleck adopted a shelter puppy this morning, and most people think it's the cutest thing they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Do you think we're that stupid that we're going to forget that he was grabbing that lady's boobies and saying dirty things to her while she sat on his lap? Because he adopted a puppy that's cute.
Yeah, but doesn't that cancel out booby grabbing? As long as it's not, locker room talking about grabbing cats and things like that, it doesn't matter, surely.
Right, but see, the difference is that President Trump owned that and talked about it and had a dialogue about it. Hollywood's default is to say, oh, well, the American regular people are stupid. If we talk about something cute like puppies, they're too dumb to remember that Ben Affleck is a big pervert. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that they would even consider, let's write a puff piece about puppies, that'll fix everything.
Yeah.
The fact that their brain works that way just shows how deeply the disdain goes for us. They don't just not like us, they hate us.
Yeah, I think it's a real concern, because I think that ultimately, part of the problem is that in America we haven't had a revolution for so long, and I think that the masses are dumbed down so much that I think they think that we'll accept anything. But we've, this latest election has proven beyond reasonable doubt that people are sick to death of the establishment, and this is why they wanted him gone. And they wanted them gone, and this is why they didn't want Hillary Clinton back in the driving seat. But I think that ultimately, we have this two-tiered judicial system, and I think that the elites in the United States, and I think it's the same in other countries too. Those who are celebrities can do what the heckity they please, and when they do get called to task, then it's what happened? I didn't know about it. You're not telling me that people didn't know about Weinstein. I mean, come on, Hillary Clinton knew about Weinstein. What's her name? Mary, the one who said that Weinstein was God. Don't tell me she didn't know. She's been such an she's been so anti-Trump. The actress, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, yeah.
The thing is, Hollywood, living here, it's a small town, despite people thinking it's big, because everyone in it in some way is connected to show business, whether they're actually in show business or not. Their cousin is a grip, or their partner treats them in a therapy situation, or their sister cuts their hair, and because here, like when we go to the movies here, I haven't gone to the movies in probably 10 years, but here when you go to the movies, in the rest of the country, when the film is over, people leave, but here we stay until the end of the credits, because it's our neighbors and our relatives and our friends and stuff. We wait to see their name, and so people forget it's a very small town. And the one thing that is faster than lightning is gossip and talk, and that happens real quick within these little cliques, like the wives having lunch at Neiman Marcus, all the trophy wives. If something happens, they're all talking, and then they get on their cell phones and tell their assistants, then their assistants tell their friends. So word travels faster than the speed of light in Hollywood. That's the one thing that travels faster than the speed of light are the nut jobs here. And people protect each other and are willing to lie and overlook things. There's a great piece in Breitbart right now that Rebecca Mansour, the senior West Coast editor and Governor Palin's former speechwriter, tweeted out. It's on her Twitter timeline. Her name is Rebecca Mansour, Mansour. There's a 3-part expose on Hollywood and their hatred towards conservatives. And it's not the generic kind of essay or TV segment about Hollywood bias that we get every couple of years. Where essentially it's the same story with just different characters, and Hollywood's Democrat, they don't like conservatives. This one goes really deep, and it talks about the moms of the actors and the studio heads and stuff having lunch and having a shared experience where one of their kids was at a sleepover, and one of the dads likes to spoon with the kids and not his own kid. And these are like 6-year-olds.
Wow.
And how when they brought it up at lunch, all the moms at the table realized, hey, wait a minute, let me call my assistant, because I think that's where my kid is having a play date now. Because Hollywood moms don't raise their own kids.
No.
But anyways, and then they find out that all their kids are at that creepy man's house. And the story talks about the evolution of how that panned out. And it went from, this is creepy, we don't like our kids doing that, to the person who brought it up ended up being the bad guy because they were conservatives.
But look at I mean, I know he's not conservative, but Corey Feldman, he's been flogging this horse for years about how he was abused as a child and nobody cared. I mean, even Barbara Walters on The View basically said, "Oh, I don't really think that this is appropriate and we shouldn't be talking about it," kind of thing. But it's obviously come to fruition that this was true. And I think that ultimately you're right that these things get covered up. But I'll tell you something that's really irked me recently. I'm sorry for anyone that's been sexually abused, but everyone's talking about what a victim Rose McGowan is, but she still took the payoff. Why did she take the payoff? If she was that concerned about him sexually abusing people, why didn't she say, screw this, I'm not taking the money, I'm just going to tell the world about it?
I agree with that. Really quick, let me ask you, how much time do we have?
As much as we need.
Okay, good, because I'm glad you brought that up. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, I think this is really important. We need to put our thinking caps on. What I've noticed with this story, and I think it should continue this way for a couple more weeks, because, it's good for us to be able to say, "I told you so," to these idiots
yes.
who have been lecturing us on morality for years, okay? Let's keep it up for a couple more weeks. But then, I think we need to keep the eye on the prize. It needs to be focused. We need to frame the message around the hypocrisy of the left. And they're lecturing us because eventually this is going to come around. If you keep just saying, "Oh, look, he's a pervert. Oh, look, she's a pervert. She did this, she did that." Eventually, it's going to help their side because, the left's view is that, women are these delicate flowers that, if you compliment them on a dress, on wearing a nice dress, that's the same as rape.
Right.
If you open the door for them, that is demeaning to women. And so we have to be careful that we stay on message. And the message is not so much the sexual proclivities, but the hypocrisy of Hollywood for lecturing us about morality and how
right.
superior they are and how much they care about people when they've been being big perverts and raping people for years. And so I'm not saying that we ignore or accept all the perversions and the moral decay, but we have to keep it focused on the hypocrisy and of the left and the self-righteousness of the left when they've been doing this for years, because we're living in a time when, books like To Kill a Mockingbird at colleges now come with a warning label because it may make students feel uncomfortable.
Please.
And if we keep on with "Oh, look, he's a pervert. Oh, look, she's a pervert," if we only do that, that eventually will help feed their side, and then we'll have more literature like To Kill a Mockingbird saying, "Oh, it makes people feel uncomfortable."
But don't you think...
You know what's stupid? It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable.
Right, of course, that's why it's there.
Literature should provoke thought.
Right, but don't you think that this is indicative of the liberalizing of society, because we've actually just become so PC that we don't want to breathe in case it offends somebody? And I say screw that, because it makes you want to live your life on tenterhooks. I was going through a stage where I was really careful about what I put out there on social media because, you said, the number of people that have called me homophobic for some of the things I put out there, and I know they've done that to you too, but how can you be homophobic if you're openly gay? It's just this liberalization of society that has just made us all so politically correct, and it's going to get us killed in the end. It really is.
Oh, definitely, because, the First Amendment is the first of the Bill of Rights for a reason, and so, when you have free speech, it's not just, okay, you have free speech. Something comes along with it, and that's called responsibility.
Right.
And you have to be responsible with your free speech, and you also have to be willing to tolerate speech that you don't like. We can talk about Christ, but someone else can go out there and say, God hates fags.
Right.
And we both have the right to say that. And that can make people feel uncomfortable. But if you have free speech, it has to work that way. It can't be either or. You have to be able to sometimes just ignore things.
Right, you do. And the next story is really case in point, which I'd love to move on to, because doctors are now being told not to call pregnant women mothers over fears that they might offend transgender people. Now, the BMA, which is the British Medical Association, which is the trade union and professional body for doctors in the UK, has issued the advice in an official guideline issued to its 160,000 members who work in hospitals and general practice across the United Kingdom. It's told them that mums-to-be should be called pregnant people instead of expectant mothers. Now, the claims were made by the Mail on Sunday recently, and it comes just a week after it emerged that a British person who is undergoing a sex change assignment from woman to a man has put the operation on hold to have a baby. Now, some 775,000, that's nearly 1 million people a year, give birth in Great Britain every year, and there are no other known cases of transgender people having babies, but these are all women that are giving birth. Now, doesn't this speak to just what I was talking about a moment ago, this liberalization of society where we've got to not offend people? And for me, this is about common sense. Only women give birth. I mean, if you're born with a penis, there's no way you're ever going to give birth. Am I wrong?
No, because, and again, here's the problem. We are teaching reading, writing, math, arithmetic, philosophy, science, biology at the college campuses anymore. Heck, not even in the elementary schools. You know, they teach social justice and global warming. And these gender studies and women's studies courses, they're teaching biology. And so when we have young people who have no knowledge or information has not been given to them on history and the barbarities of history, you know, going back to Attila the Hun and, you know, all the horrible things, the stonings and the people being burned at the stake and just like utter savagery. They have no frame of reference to see, you know, how far we've progressed.
Right.
And when it comes to this, and so they don't have that. So let's take that and set it aside. And then let's focus on this gender studies, women's studies. They're not allowed to teach biology in those courses. How on earth can you teach a class in gender and not discuss biology?
Scratch my head.
Men don't have babies. You can cut your wiener off and get silicone boobies, but guess what?
Yeah.
Your fake pulana is not going to make children. It's just...
Isn't that an Italian chicken dish, Thomas? Isn't pulana an Italian chicken dish? No? Am I wrong? I totally agree with you, but...
We used to say bushniki and pulana instead of penis and vagina. I don't know why.
No, bushniki is Greek beef dish.
We're telling people that, you know, up is down and down is up. You know, men can't have babies. And so for the United Kingdom to say that, you know, it's...
Right.
What are they saying? It's transphobic or something?
Yeah, they are.
A pregnant mom. You know, there's so many levels that's ridiculous on. I mean, first of all, we're talking about, possibly 1% of the population, if that.
Yeah.
You know, so there we have a situation of the minority representing themselves as the majority, and it's just because they're really loud and kind of nasty. There aren't that many trannies, you know, and I've always said, you know, it's their job to assimilate with us.
Right.
It's not our job to find ways for them to assimilate with us. They need to figure it out. You know, I did.
Yeah.
You know, why don't they? And you know what's really funny, Xander, is like in West Hollywood, with some of the little gay boys there that work at like the bank and stuff, I've heard them say things like, we hate the trannies. The trannies get everything. So I think it's causing divisions within the stupid ass LGBTQ anyway.
Yeah, isn't it now LGBTQ A B C D E F G, because the acronym is like never ending. And what about unicorns? I identify as a unicorn now. So if you can't accept that I'm a unicorn, does that make you unicorn phobic? I have to say, I don't want any of my commentary to contribute to anybody being hurt or treated badly or differently, but wake up. I'm happy for you to be whatever you want to be and call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, but don't expect me to buy the book or the t-shirt.
Oh, exactly. If somebody wants to be a tranny, fine. More power to them. Go ahead and be a tranny. But guess what? I can make fun of you if I want to.
Yeah.
You can make fun of me. Do you know what I mean? They can make fun of me.
I have to just share this because
I don't care.
I have to share this because it's very apt. Martha just said, in 100 years, if you dig up Caitlyn Jenner, the DNA will be male. And I think that says it all, really. I really want to just emphasize this again. Don't write to me and tell me that I'm transphobic or that I'm homophobic. I'm openly gay. And Thomas is too. There you go. I just outed you, Thomas. So we're not anti-anything, but what we are anti is stupidity and ridiculousness. Does that not cover it, really?
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, the trannies have the same rights that everyone else has. They don't get any extra ones.
No.
And nobody has the right to not get their feelings hurt. And this thing about not being able to call, for doctors to not be allowed to call
expectant mothers,
pregnant women, that is stupid on so many levels.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous. That's a slippery slope,
Yeah.
You don't want word police, because what comes after word police is thought police. And
exactly.
We've all seen that movie with the precogs. I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, thought police, where we can't think certain things.
Yeah. Ty just made a great point. He said they attacked RuPaul for calling someone tranny. Please. Yeah, exactly, Ty. The thing is that the society is policing the vernacular that we use. Did you know that I've been banned on Facebook for using the word fag and fag hag? Now, what are we coming to in 2017 if I, an openly gay man, cannot use the word fag or fag hag? RuPaul, who is a man who dresses as a woman, cannot use the word tranny as a term of endearment. What the hell have you done with our society and our vernacular rights?
Oh, I know. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you just have to ask yourself, at what point does it stop? Like, where are we going with this? And I think the obvious answer is not a very good place.
Right.
Where it leads to authoritarianism, and that's not good for anyone.
Right, and it's the difference between equality and equity again at the end of the day, and we always come back to this because I'm always happy for anybody to have. I think everybody should have the same rights, but it's the difference between equality and equity, and I don't think some people in the gay community, I'm not calling it LGBTQ anymore because that's a bullshit term as far as I'm concerned. It's the gay community, and everybody else who came along and tried to hijack it after wants to kind of, patent it basically. And it was going on before you and before I, and even before those that came before us in the so-called movement.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and I'll take it a step further. I don't even really consider it a community. It's a sexual preference.
Right.
And I just really don't like that we insist on separating ourselves into these demographics, these boxes. I think we're better than that.
We are.
It's time to move past that and just be Americans and stop saying, oh, okay, these are the gay people, these are the Chinese people, these are the black people.
Right.
Enough is enough, because look where we are now because of that. People are getting hurt. Things are getting burned down. It's absolutely insane. And what's not helping is that we're not allowed to talk about it, and everything offends everyone. And again, nobody has the right to not be offended. Nobody has the right to not have their feelings hurt. It's part of life.
Exactly.
Grow a set.
Which is a great lead into our next story, because liberals again. Why is it always those damn liberals? Are demanding the resignation of a UK MP who's called Jared O'Mara. Basically, they've called for his resignation for comments he made 15 years ago on social media when he was a young guy. And he's under fire for commenting on the fact, and quite rightly so, that a woman who won a singing competition because she won it basically because she was fat. She wasn't a good singer. It was basically a sympathy vote. And, this is being classified as sexism and misogyny. So now if we dislike something that a woman does, that makes us sexist or misogynistic. Now in a singing competition, the driving force for winning should be how well one can sing, not how little you have won in the past, because you're fat. Now, however crass this guy is, and some of his commentary is pretty crass, to feed into this ideology once again that everybody gets a prize is ridiculous. Suck it up, snowflake. I mean, what do you make of this, Thomas?
It's just a symptom of the times we're living in, where everyone is perpetually outraged about something and they see some great injustice in something. And I think it ties into what I was saying before about on the college campuses. These kids have no frame of reference. You have to look at history as a whole. And if you don't look at it as a whole, we end up with this kind of nonsense in the singing competition. You've got to understand that history, we've got a long history here in the States, over the pond where you are, and the entire globe. And history has gone from utter barbarianism with real violence to where we are now. And we have made great strides and great progress. And unfortunately, that's not being taught. And until that gets taught again, we're going to continue to have silly little things like this singing competition where someone got their feelings hurt.
Right. Because, it's no secret, I'm not a size 8. I'm probably a size 108. I'm a big guy, and I'm a singer too. And if I go and perform in a competition, I want to be judged on how well I sing, not how fat I am or I'm not. And I don't want a sympathy vote. But to then say that someone who has identified that, and I agree with that, and the reason I'm holding my hands up and saying I'm a fat guy is because, I'm not fatophobic. I'm not I'm not a body fascist. And the thing is that if you're entering a singing competition, the basic premise for whether you win or not should be whether you can sing, not how fat or thin you are. And to get a sympathy vote should denote that people are allowed to comment on them.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of that trend where, everyone gets a trophy because there are no winners.
Exactly.
There are no losers. Well, guess what? That's where the snowflakes came from. They started out as little kids and who all got trophies, and now they're grown up and they don't understand that life isn't all, rainbow unicorn farts. I mean, it's just,
how dare you? I'm a unicorn. I'm offended. I am so offended being a unicorn. Yes, yeah. Exactly. But you are totally right, Thomas, and I think that we've made a rod for our own back. I remember going with my sister once to some sports day or something at school and seeing that all of the kids got an award. And I'm like, what does that teach the kids about when they go out into the world? Because not everyone excels. Some people are just ordinary. Some people don't excel, and we're teaching the kids the ideology that everyone does well, when they go out in the world, and they don't.
Yeah, we're breeding good little socialists.
Yeah.
I mean, the people the union bosses who took over from the PTA, which I think is outrageous. They need to give the power back to the moms at the PTA.
Yes.
But the union bosses, they took civics out and they started this, everyone gets a trophy. You can't play duck, duck, goose because that's too competitive. Well, guess what? Life is competitive. You know, you can't play dodgeball because it's too aggressive, and you know, little boys can't play cowboys and Indians because that's racist.
Yeah.
At Thanksgiving, you can't have half the class dress up like Indians and the other half dress up like pilgrims, and then bring food from home and sit down and share a meal together.
Right.
Can't do that because that's terrible racism. Well, no, those are really good life lessons, and they're not teaching really good life lessons at school anymore. They're indoctrinating children, and now we've got these grown-up snowflakes. And
but look at this.
Who just wilt at everything.
Look at this recently where the girl was complaining because she couldn't join the Boy Scouts and that it was discriminatory. I mean, the clue is...
Join the Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
Get a grip.
I have, you know, I hate to quote Ben Shapiro, but his point was, the clue is in the name. But that is absolutely correct. If, you know, what if a boy wanted to join the Girl Scouts? He would not be allowed to do that. You know, this liberal lunacy has just gone mad. And I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of having to defend it. But what I'm even more sick of is explaining that I'm not a hater or a phobe of any description because I won't tolerate that kind of stupidity.
Yeah, it's really time for, you know, I almost said conservatives, but I mean just normal people.
Yeah.
Just to say enough is enough.
Yes.
And, you know, to take a stand because, you know, we have to win this culture war. This is our country.
Yeah.
It is not center left. It is not left. It's center right. Always has been. Always will be. It was built on the idea that can man rule himself? The correct answer is yes. And if we don't stand up and do something about it, we're going to lose it. And it's in our DNA. You know, what started with Washington was passed to Lincoln and then to Reagan, and now it's being passed to us. Freedom is in our DNA, and it's time to just stand up and take a stand and fight back over these morons and these stupid social justice warriors. You know, Falwell Jr., who I think is a much better version of his dad, he's, I think, the dean or something at Liberty University. He gave a really interesting exclusive the other day, and he's backing Bannon, and there's a new PAC that I think everyone needs to be made aware of, and let's all agree to follow their lead. It's called the One America PAC. And of course, you know, their goal, one of their goals is to get rid of some of these crazy Democrats, but it's also to get rid of these establishment Republicans who collude with the Democrats. And Falwell Jr. said that he wants an army of evangelicals to rise up and to say enough is enough with these fake Republicans, because we've got to clean our own house first.
We do.
And so I say bring it, amen, count me in. Let's have another crusade and let's win it.
Yeah, amen to that. Because I think that, as much as I hate to say it, our inaction has almost certainly brought all of these things about.
Oh yeah, complacency is our enemy.
It is. It is. Well, we are coming to the end of our time together, Thomas, but tell people where they can find you. I know if anyone has a problem with anything that you've said tonight, they can email you at Thomas S Schmitz at idon'tgiveacrap.com, but tell people where they can find out more about you.
Yes, I receive my hate mail at Thomas S Schmitz on Twitter. It's at ThomasSschmitz at Thomas S. Schmitz on Twitter, and you can find me as an editor and contributor at www.conservatives4palin.com. That's conservatives4palin.com. Number 4, conservatives4palin.com. Twitter at Thomas S. Schmitz.
Absolutely, and all of Thomas's contact information is on the Xrad show page for today. Thomas, I hope will be back with us when we start the Xrad show back proper, when it's a daily show again. But I'm sure Thomas will be back with us very soon. But for now, thank you so much. Give our best to Jim. Thomas S. Schmitz.
thank you, Xander, for having me. It was good to hear your voice and to see your face and to talk to you. I enjoyed it. Thank
The
you
feeling
so
is
much.
most mutual. Thank you so much, Thomas. Have a great week.
Happy Halloween.
You too. Bye-bye. Are we still allowed to say that as Christians? Are we still allowed to say Happy Halloween? We are out of time. We did go a bit over time because we lost some of the live feed. Thanks to everyone who's made today's show possible. Thanks again to Thomas, who you can find at conservatives4palin.com, and his contact information is on the show page for today. Thanks to everyone in the live feed. I'm sorry if I didn't get to everybody. I just want to make it clear that part of the problem is that I'm doing 10 jobs. I'm making sure that the technical stuff works. I'm making sure that the audio works. I'm making sure that the guy that we were talking to, their feed, everything continues. So if I don't get back to you when you throw a hissy fit, I'm really sorry about that. But if you'd like to message me privately, I'll be more than happy to deal with your concerns. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll be back we'll be back next week for the Xrad Round Up, but in a couple of weeks we'll be back with a show every day, 5 days a week. I hope you are all well. I want you to all take care, and we will see you all next time on the Xrad Roundup. I really do love you all, even those of you who have pissy fits, because I can't get back to you immediately. Bye-bye.
Has been good to me this time around. Things were never bound to change when it was found.